But our next speaker, Mykee Espino, will talk about he'll talk about the intersection of dance and martial arts. Very interesting topic. Mykee.
So, how's everyone doing tonight? Good, good. That's good to hear. So, to start it all off, when I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a Power Ranger. I knew I was bound to be a Power Ranger. So, let's go back in time a little. I was 5.5, maybe 6 years old. I was walking around the shopping plaza with my parents, and we happened to pass by a Taekwondo school. My parents knew about my aspirations to be a Power Ranger, so they asked me if I wanted to give Taekwondo a try. Mind you, I was 5.5, 6 years old, so I didn't know what the heck Taekwondo was. But I could remember at the time seeing a sparring class happen. And I automatically made a mental connection that if I could learn to fight like these kids in their colorful sparring gear, that I was one step closer to reaching my ultimate goal. And by the way, that's me when I was like this big, so. With that being said, I joined the school, and my progression was undeniably hard to ignore. I moved up the ranks quickly, and in 2 years, I earned my black belt in Taekwondo. But at the same time, I decided to transition over to a Japanese form of martial arts, also known as Goju Ryu. So as I started accustoming myself to this Japanese form of martial arts, I began expanding my horizons into a performance-based martial arts known as extreme martial arts. So with that being said, I expanded my horizons, started competing, and that's how it all went off. Training took a load of willpower and determination. I can relate martial arts training to boot camp training, as you must endure rigorous fitness training alongside drilling your moves and routines for competition. So I'm a martial artist. I kick, I punch, I fight, and sometimes I flip. But somehow, I ended up being a dancer. But my timing was great for learning dance. Movies like Step Up to the Streets and You Got Served were popularizing the hip-hop dance culture. And soon, studios began promoting classes particularly for hip-hop street dances. One actually opened up in front of my karate dojo. The emergence of these movies and dance-related shows sparked my interest to mimic the moves I saw right before my eyes, so I could remember myself in front of a television, horribly attempting to do the robot as I was watching my favorite show, America's Best Dance Crew. So, with that being said, I accumulated hours and hours of time invested into breakdancing classes and commercial choreography classes. At the age of 13 years old, my first dance teacher, breakdance teacher, mentor, current crew leader, Mario Toledo, recruited me into Illmatik Phlow dance crew, I-Flow for short. That's a buff man right there. So little did I know that training would get a lot harder than it already was, and I was training to a point where my body had no choice but to force me to sleep during practices. So it got a little rough. If I were to ask every single one of you, what gets you up in the morning? I'm sure I'd get a different answer every single time. Passion is what gets me up in the morning. Passion is my strongest form of motivation. So I feel like there's this certain border or this opposite winding direction between those who have to work versus those who get the easy way out. More often than not, It's a rare occurrence that life is just handed to someone. So unfortunately, a good percentage of us have to work for what we want. So I feel like talented people, many, many talented people lose themselves because they can't handle the heat when times get rough. So based on what you've heard about me, my life sounds like a series of great moments and good timing. And admittedly, some of it has been, but that's not all of it. The Power Rangers had it easy by comparison because their conflicts were always resolved at the end of the episode. The next episode marked the beginning of a new adventure. Rarely, life gives you that kind of closure. It's surprising how much I've been through already at the age of 16 years old. During competition seasons for martial arts, I remember having to share a room with up to 10 people. Being the smallest and youngest out of my teammates, I suffered the most. I found myself sleeping in bathtubs, closets, and even under the sink of hotel rooms. Thankfully, that's not the case anymore. In terms of dance, my crew and I have taken any opportunity we can to have somewhere to train. I've trained in parking lots, on grass, and even broke into university dance studios just so we could fit in a practice. Thank you, FIU. Anyways, we were kicked out for loitering and threatened for trespassing just to find a place to practice what we love. Being a dancer, growing up in the industry, there are many fascinating moments that you experience when you're up on that stage performing. However, to make a living as a dancer, or even to start working as a professional dancer, there are many not so fascinating moments that you experience, some of which include endless auditions, countless rejection, unfair salaries, working long, grueling hours, and potential for injury with no compensation. You can ask any dancer, and they will agree with me. Auditions are the mecca of ego killing. I can assure you that auditions will show you that you're not as cool as you actually think you are. Auditions contain so much criteria other than skill just to get casted for a job. Some of these criteria include racial profiling, age profiling, physical appearance, aesthetic appearance, attractiveness, so on and so forth. You know what? Let me give you an example. Yesterday, actually, I was at an audition for the Latin billboards. I went into the audition room, had to learn choreography, and freestyle after. I walked out of that room, and I didn't make the cut. People were telling me, wow, you did amazing. Wow, you were the best one there. And I was like, wow, I didn't get cut. I didn't make it. So that's unfortunate. I feel that some of these struggles help me to become a better person every day. I remain motivated. I won many titles in martial arts and dance, auditioned for all the shows I idolized at a young age, and competed at an international level. So you must be wondering what this is. Annually, my crew and I enter a competition known as Hip Hop International, which is recognized as the Olympics of hip hop dance. My biggest road bump to date is my recent injury, which actually happened at this same competition in August 2014. Within the first 5 seconds of the routine, I threw a flip. This flip. You see how high I am off the ground? Which resulted in the tearing of my ACL. Given that it was the first 5 seconds of the routine, there was no possible way for me to get off that stage. Therefore, I endured the longest 2 minutes and 30 seconds of my life. Actually, I endured the longest 2 minutes and 30 seconds of my life for the next 5 days. Progressively during the week, my knee got worse and worse, and I put more and more of a beating on it till our last push in World Semifinals for World's Finals. My knee gave out on me in the worst way possible, and we did not advance. So, that being said, when I returned home, I was granted with the news that I not only tore my ACL, but I also tore both sides of my meniscus, my medial and lateral meniscus, and shattered my knee bone. On the bright side, I did return home with a bronze medal in the USA division. And placed 11th in the world's division, one place up than we did the year prior. So enjoy this picture of me looking like I have to go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, nobody knew that I was on the verge of crying, but that's fine. So, going through this experience every day, I changed completely as a person. Once I got home, I blamed myself for the fact that my crew didn't make it to finals. I confined myself in my room and numerous times found myself crying out of frustration and guilt. I could not let go of what had happened. I actually ate away all my sorrows and put on dramatic weight. So, weight gain was definitely one of the factors that affected me most. Just hearing loved ones say, wow, you got bigger, wow, you're fat, wow, you need to get back to the gym. It got exhausting. Even my close friends and my crew members were making playful jokes about my weight gain, and being the person I am, I laughed it off, but nobody actually knew how much their comments actually affected me. So I didn't get a sagely mentor or a profound epiphany at the right time. At this point, my good timing had run out. I had to take control of my own momentum. At the time, I personally failed to realize that my momentum wasn't necessarily stopped, but just slowed for the time being. One morning, I woke up and had a realization and realized that I needed to stop upsetting myself over a circumstance that was beyond my control. So I started immersing myself back into the martial arts and dance culture by attending events, competitions, and practices. I got back into the gym, started losing weight, and slowly I started realizing that the busier I kept myself, the better things got and the faster time went by. Needless to say, passion is what consumes my thought process. Based on my personal experiences, I can tell you that passion always prevails. My goals initially started from small decisions such as getting back into the gym to more long-term goals such as gaining back the courage to step back on a competition stage. And it leaves me very nervous to say that I will be returning to the Hip Hop International stage with my crew for 2015. Not only that, but today marks the official first day that I performed for a live audience since my injury in August, so. I'm a little nervous, but. So pretty much to sum all of this up, I just kind of wanted to end on a quote by Lance Armstrong that I actually value very much, and it pretty much says, pain is temporary, quitting is forever. So all in all, adversity should not define you. It's your success through adversity that should define who you are as a person. With that being said, I thank you all for listening to me today, and I hope you enjoy the show.
You're in the mix
With the DJ always banging the real hip-hop.
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head. Mr. Kiss, that girl is.
All the girls standing in the line for the...
Ma, what you wanna do? I'm in front of you. Grab a friend, see, I can have fun too. Or me and you, put on a stage show. In the mall, kids ask how they change low. When they heard, they say, wow, it's the same glow. When to me, I say, yeah, it's the same dough. We the same type. You my airlight. You have me sleeping in the same bed, day and night.
Go around with me, you deserving the best. Take a few shots, let it burn in your. You can vibe down, put a nerd in the deck. Funny how a few words turned into.
You know, I used to dream about this when I was a little boy. I never thought it would end up this way. Drums.
Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you succeed and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you succeed